Traveling to a cemetery can be very cost prohibitive for most researchers, which is why sites like FindAGrave, FindAGrave, and other cemetery photo sharing sites are a blessing. But when you come across information on any of these sites, what should you believe and what is suspect? Howdy, I'm Devon Noel Lee, and this is Family History Fanatics in our series called Research Over My Shoulder. If you have missed any of the previous episodes, be sure to check the info cards, which will pop up during the video or in the description. We are trying to investigate two questions. Who are G. Winfield Underwood's parents, and can we clean up his tree along the way? Now let's go back and review the clue web for our case study about G. Winfield Underwood. In the last installment, we looked at the death record and we were able to attach it to the clue that his parents might be Hiram Underwood and Eliza Jane Gaddy, and we know that it's supporting his death date. Well, when we look on Family Search, we see that there is a record result from the search page that gives us a hint from FindAGrave. Now, when we click on the Visit Partner link, we can then go to FindAGrave and it looks like this. Not bad. But let's go back and remember our evaluation principles, because we want to answer the question, what should we believe on FindAGrave? And believe it or not, this can also apply to FindAGrave and those other cemetery sharing sites. Let's take a quick review. If you want more details, be sure to check the link for the video in the info cards or the descriptions below. But our principles when evaluating FindAGrave are going to be similar to what we use for evaluating a death record. Who is the informant on FindAGrave? Gotta think about that. Did the informant witness the event? The event of the erection of the stone, the placement of the stone, the ordering of stone, you get the idea. Because FindAGrave is about gravestones. Did the informant serve as a witness to that stone being placed? And finally, was the information on FindAGrave created at the time of the individual's death? In most cases, not so much. For modern deaths, there are a lot of people who go in right after someone dies and put their information in. But you really have no idea. If that's the case. So, what can you believe on FindAGrave or FindAGrave? You can believe the image of the stone. Now, some people will tell you even this stone can have errors. Absolutely, that is something to take into consideration. But as far as what you can believe on FindAGrave as a site, someone stood there and took a photo of the gravestone that you are looking at, and you can now evaluate that image. But as far as the rest of the contribution to FindAGrave, everything else is suspicious because you have no idea who put that information in. You don't know if they know the information about the individual's birth date and who their parents are and the siblings. So everything else is a clue. It doesn't mean you shouldn't use the site, and the site doesn't have any valuable information. But if you're going to argue with somebody about the content you found on FindAGrave, just understand that everything on FindAGrave is suspect until you have more pieces of evidence. So let's take a peek at the profile of Winfield Underwood on FindAGrave. On Winfield's page, there's no gravestone. There's no image of a gravestone. So the whole reason we came to FindAGrave was to look for an image of the gravestone, and it's not there. So what did we say about one of these sites? Everything else is suspect. So you see that name Gaddy up there? Gaddy Winfield Underwood? We have no idea who the informant is that provided the name as Gaddy. So it's a clue, and we can keep it in our clue web, but we can't take it as gospel truth right now because we have no idea who the informant was. Did they know Winfield when he was alive, and did they ask him and know that his first name was Gaddy? We have no idea. It's just a clue. But there is that death record. So what do we do with that? Well, we already evaluated it in a family search, so we don't really need to spend much time with this record. But sometimes on FindAGrave, you're going to find photos that you've never seen before, and you're going to find documents that you haven't seen before because they haven't been added to family search or ancestry or whatever site. That is a valuable service that volunteers have provided, and you would evaluate that record independent of the individual who posted that record to the profile page. So we're going to add the clue from FindAGrave onto our clue web, but where should we put it? I mean, should we put it as a clue for Gaddy? Yeah, we could, but I'm not going to squeeze it in there. I'm just going to add it as an additional source validating the death record because the stone was created at the time that the death record was created. So I'm going to stick that together right there. Now, after looking at the hints on family search and the top level research results, we're now closer to figuring out who Winfield's parents are. So we're going to have to look for records prior to his marriage. And that's the topic of our next video in Research Over My Shoulder. So I hope you'll go out and use the cemetery sites. If you have any more tips and strategies that you want to share about evaluating the information that you find on FindAGrave, then be sure to put that in the comments section below. That's what the comment section is for you to share and for you to learn from others. And I hope you'll take advantage of it. While you're at it, will you go ahead and press the thumbs up if you like this video so I know to do more explanatory and case studies videos in the future.